Hello, this is D.
Oh, this is Grand Theft Auto 6 running on the PlayStation 5 Pro. This game looks unbelievable, bro. The game is even running at 60 FPS. Look at how realistic this game looks.
With another video.
PS5 Pro enhanced, baby.
So
Y'all ain't getting this on Xbox. Let's go.
And in the summertime,
show them the power of the FSR3, baby. You know, ain't nobody want to play this game on PC. Why wait for that when you can pick up a $500 or should I say a $700 console and you get graphics that look like this?
Outside, I'm doing some reviews on really fast e-bikes and e-scooters. They should be coming.
Oh, that's the online multiplayer? What? Look at how realistic this game looks, man. This is how it's going to look on my PS5 Pro. This is unbelievable, man. All you people talking about how your game going to get 60 FPS on Xbox. Now look at it. We got this type of graphics. The game going to run at 60 FPS. You people ain't nothing. I try to tell you that the Xbox don't even come close to the greatness that you get on PlayStation. I can't wait to play it.
From social media a little bit. Now I've seen
a
lot of news that has come across my timeline.
What?
You guys,
it looks so realistic, man. I can't believe it, man. Hey, yo, D-Bat, you got me with this one, man. Wow. You see, this is the power of the PS5 Pro. This is actual gameplay. You know, that car's probably online, you know. Wow. I'm really looking forward to this game. I'm probably going to buy it. You can tell that this game is a $3 billion budget. You can tell, bro. I mean, come on, man. Rockstar, I mean, the type of talent that they got at this company, man, is unrivaled, bro. I mean, they brought us Red Dead Redemption 2. Now they're bringing us games that look like this at 60 FPS. This is as realistic as you can get people.
Right? And I said, you know what? There is so much new gaming information out there, and I know gamers, they just want to talk about some of these things, and they want to know my opinion on it. And I think that's
what's this? Oh, that's a video game, man. You see, look at the difference. You see Grand Theft Auto 6 in comparison to Cyberpunk, bro. It's a night and day difference, and he's playing it on PC, bro. That's why I try to tell you, man. Y'all thought, oh, he be repping Xbox. Oh, no. After that gameplay, I'm repping PlayStation, man. You can't get any better graphics besides that playing on a PlayStation 5 Pro. You see, I'm out here justifying that console. I knew with all those PS5 Pro label games that don't work, I knew Sony would at least give us one. And that's all we care about. We don't care about nothing else. You can have Doom Dark Ages. It was supposed to run better on your platform in the first place. But when you got graphics like that on the PlayStation 5 Pro at 60 FPS for Grand Theft Auto, man, you Xbox fanboys can't say a damn thing.
Anywhere between like 65 and like, you know, the high 70s in the frame rate, which is a huge improvement.
How is this a huge improvement, man? The game can barely hit 60 FPS without the game dropping in frames. I mean, at this point, you might as well lock it. What is the point of having all these jittery frames just so you can say that we have more frame rate over the Xbox? Just lock the game at 60 FPS. If anything, this is actually more unstable. And you're like, Gamester, how so? Because it's jittery. It's not stable. When you have a frame rate, matter of fact, that's something that you guys don't talk about. It's the stability of it. You get what I'm saying? But if you got games doing all this jittery stuff, then that's not good frames. If anything, you got frames speeding up, you got frames slowing down, and it will make the game look worse.
Over here, let me just click the tab here. And we look at the Xbox version.
Okay.
Xbox version here with performance mode. VRR turns on, so it's unlocked frame rate.
But it's staying at a lock 60, well, close to a lock 60. It drops to 59, what is it? Is that 58 there? No, 59 going to 60. That's actually a stable frame rate.
You're getting like 59, 60 FPS.
Yes, you see? 59 to 60. Okay, now listen what he says about PlayStation.
It's kind of, you know, staying at that level there. On the PlayStation 5 Pro,
yes, of course it's staying at that level because it's locked.
You can see that it's stretching its legs at 77, you know, some drops to 73, 75, touching 80. A much higher frame rate than what we're getting on the Xbox Series X.
Do you guys understand how frame rates work? That's way worse than what it is on Xbox. Y'all like explain, but it says 74 there, Game. 74 is more than 60, but it's not stable. It is jittery. This is why people talk about, oh, we get skipped frame rates. It's because of stuff like this. Just because you're getting 80, 74, 69 here and there, that doesn't mean that's not a stable frame rate. Unless it's 70 stable and the game is not jittery as to what you're seeing with the PS5 Pro in performance mode, then yes, the Xbox Series X version still runs better. Y'all like, oh, snap games, I see your point. Because it's staying at a lock 69. I think the game is locked. But I'm saying if you're using this, it probably could do the same on PlayStation. But my point is using this as an argument to say that your system is more powerful than the other is a terrible argument because your frame rate is jittery.
Now,
look
a lot
at
of
it.
people say, well, how is this possible?
Look at it. It's fluctuating.
They both have the same CPU. Now, the CPU that is
look at this, 68, 67.
First of all, the way that
they don't know what frame rate it wants.
Algorithm works over there. It's different than the Xbox Series X. It's dynamic. Also, you have a 10 to 12% increase in performance on that CPU because...
Bro, you see how the Xbox Series X is still staying at 60? That is a better frame rate than what you're getting with the PS5 Pro performance mode, I guess, with the uncapped frame rate, because it's fluctuating. It's just bouncing back and forth like a basketball hitting the ground.
It is clocked higher. Now, you're going to have less restraints because the GPU is better in there. And let's just be honest, you know that these developers are going to do more optimization on the PlayStation version.
And sure, because that game on PS5 Pro Performance, it's jittery. I mean, at that point, they should have just upped up the resolution a little bit while trying to maintain the 60 FPS.
Tweaking out more performance. And as you can see here, the Xbox, it's not going over 60. I'm going to assume that it also has unlocked frame rate mode with the latest update. If it doesn't, you guys can let me know in the description down below. But assuming that it does, we are seeing that the PlayStation 5 Pro performance is substantially higher.
It doesn't matter. It's not stable, though. It's jittery. It's going from 60, 70 to 80. Bro, that is not how performance works, bro. What do you people don't understand? The fact that you got frame rates doing that, fluctuating from 65 to 70, that means your frame rate is actually worse. I dare one of you ponies try to argue that in my comment section. This is why when companies say we're locking the game to 30, this is exactly what they're talking about. Because if anything, you're getting a worse playing game because you want to feel that we got a better frame rate because we charted higher. Well, guess what? That is not going to equate to a more enjoyable gaming experience, D-Batch.
Than that of the Xbox Series X's performance mode, and we already know that it's running at a higher resolution on top of it. So if any of you were in doubt if the PlayStation 5 Pro is a better investment than the Xbox Series X, look no further than this test right here.
This is a terrible. This ain't no test. This is terrible. You call this a test, D-Batch? Let me guess. Let me test your intelligence. And the funny thing is, don't you play on PC? How do you not know this? How do you not know that if a frame rate is continuously fluctuating and it's not stable, the performance actually from the user's experience is far worse than if the game was much more stable? Like you just said, Xbox goes from 59 to 60. Not that much of a difference. To use this as a justification to say that our Pro is far better, even though you paid an additional $200 for it, well, guess what? This isn't a big difference.
It's providing you the evidence that you can use your own eyes to see.
Yes. How come you're not using your own eyes to know that the frame rate on PlayStation 5 Pro Performance Mode is jittery?
The Xbox Series X version is just not performing as good as the PlayStation 5 Pro.
Actually, you're right. It's performing it better. That's why the frame rate is staying at a 60, while yours is just bouncing all over the place.
Now, that brings me to the next story. Now, for quite some time, I've said it on different podcasts, is partnering with Rockstar, and that they're going to be doing heavy optimization for the PlayStation 5 Pro. To be honest with you guys, it makes complete sense.
Of course it makes sense, because I'm a pony and I believe everything.
Because if they were able to ensure that a 60 FPS mode would be available on the PlayStation 5 Pro, a lot of people would flock to that console. A lot of people would buy that game. Now, it's not coming out on PC.
This guy. I have talked to Detective Seeds a lot. I've done podcasts with him and stuff. I think he's a very, very nice guy, but he has actually been banned from the gaming leaks.
Oh, here we go. We got another Trust Me, bro
subreddit. And from
look at that. Look at where they're getting their sources from. Reddit. Unbelievable. I thought y'all had legitimate, real sources. You know what my sources come from? It's called common sense. Okay? All you got to do look no further than this. Gamester must have partnerships with these companies and they tell him all this information and they tell him that's why he's always right. No, it's called common sense. What? Gamester, what you do ain't any special than what they're doing? You're just using something such as common sense and you're always coming up with these W's? Yes. Look no further than the PS5 Pro CPU and you ask yourself if the game's even going to be able to remotely achieve 60. Now, if you're trying to do a Black Myth Wukong by using frame gen, which is a fake 30, and potentially using it as a way to achieve 60, that's not real 60 frames per second. You get what I'm saying? Like, bro, unless you think, like, I want to hear real good arguments. Because you guys are saying that it's going to hit 60 FPS, the graphics, the physics. How are you going to be able to have all that, right? Now, mind you, if it's like a Red Dead Redemption 2 graphics, which clearly that's not how the game looks. It looks far better than Red Dead Redemption 2. Then I don't see it running at 60 frames per second.
Places, I think from Reset era and stuff, because as much as he's gotten wrong, as much as he's gotten right, he's kind of the kind of person where he seems very confident, but some of his stuff ends up being off. So
then why are bro? Then why are you guys running with it? You see, this is why nobody takes you PlayStation guys seriously anymore, man. At this point, your whole channel is based off rumors and leaks. Nothing is legitimate. Now, mind you, I have no problem with people talking about, what they potentially think might happen, and that's perfectly fine. But when you go as far to completely ignore, you know what I mean, your own ignorance and your own bias towards a specific company just because you want to feel like you're winning some form of console war, this is where you look stupid, okay? Like I've said before. Now, whatever happens, I don't know. Like I said, they're the ones making the game. It looks like they're pushing the boundaries yet again, which I don't think it will achieve 30 FPS. Just saying, we don't know the resolution, we don't know anything. But there's one thing we do know about Rockstar. When they push the boundaries of a game, it's always capped at 30. That's something, there's a track record of that. Also, too, let's not forget, it took 2 generations for GTA 5 to achieve 60 FPS. Now you have to ask yourself, with a game built with this console in mind, how would this game be able to achieve 60 FPS if Grand Theft Auto 5 took 2 console generations to even achieve that on console? Because according to what y'all saying, and the funny thing is, it was for the 360, and it still couldn't even run 60 frames on the Xbox One. It took for the Xbox Series X and S for Rockstar to be able to achieve that. 2 console generations. And nobody's saying that. Like, oh snap, Gamester, good point. You guys keep saying that it's going to run on the Pro at 60 FPS, but yet the CPU is the same exact thing as the one on the PlayStation 5. 8X thread cores. It's the same exact... Bro, this will be a CPU-bounded game. That's why this game's going to the Series S. Because the CPU is very similar to what you're getting with the Series X. It's that simple. Open world games are more CPU bound. How do y'all know? How do y'all not know this?
People have decided to say that his stuff, his track record is not 100%.
But yet we're using it for some apparent reason to push out narratives and agendas in his community.
I will say that personally, when he's been correct, he has been the most right, specifically about PlayStation stuff. In this case...
Well, clearly he's wrong about that, because you can look no further than the CPU bottleneck of the PS5 Pro and realize that GTA 6 will not run at 60 FPS on the Pro.
He actually says that where he got this info is a PlayStation engineer that's provided highly accurate, verified info several times in the past. So... let's just take this with a grain of salt. Let's just assume...
oh, no, let's just believe it.
But let's sort of humor.
But that's funny, because you going as far to believe it. I mean, you ponies are the ones saying, oh, I think it's true. You want it to be true. Just like you guys didn't want Helldivers 2 to go to Xbox. You wanted to believe that Sony wasn't full third party. Just for them to spit in your face and throw Helldivers 2 on Xbox before the game even went to Steam and they played it through the new Xbox handheld. Bro, it's about time you people wake up and smell the coffee.
Right? Okay. Grand Theft Auto 6 continues to hit 60 FPS while being optimized for the PS5 Pro with multiple graphics settings. Now,
I'm not saying that maybe PlayStation isn't working to give them a much more refined experience. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it's not even going to look better. But to run with these narratives, it's crazy, guys. Come on, bro. What happened to the gaming community? And it's fine to speculate, but this ain't the type of speculation that I'm talking about, because at least I can give people references and saying, okay, we still don't know because they're the ones working on the game. But at least people can say, Gamester, you all right. You know, the CPU is the same as the PS5. If this game is really graphically demanding with the physics and AI that they're saying that it is, with the budget that they're putting, how are they going to be able to achieve that level of greatness while also having a high frame rate? Then you got to look at the games that the PS5 Pro has enhanced and notice that there's really not that much of a difference. Bro, come on, bro. Y'all like, where you get your sources, GameStop? You must get them from these Trust Me Bros. I get them from common sense.
Before anything else, I want to talk about what this means, because this is sort of a more recent development. Smarter than me are saying that this rollout is actually going to be the biggest software advancement of hardware that's ever been done. But we'll see. But here's the thing. It sounds like they're basically trying to box about the fact that they said, we're having trouble getting it to run on the Xbox Series S, right? Some people started saying, okay, PlayStation paid for exclusivity. To be honest, I still don't know, but there has been talk anytime a game runs better on PlayStation 5, people say,
No, but it's not about Black Myth Wukong running on PlayStation. It had more to do with the fact that the excuse that they use of why they couldn't put on Xbox was because of the Series S. Just to find out that the game came to the Series S. What are you talking about? That had nothing to do with performance. What are you talking about? It had more to do with the fact that they said, we're skipping the Series S because we can't work on it, just for the game to still pop up there anyway.
PlayStation paid them to make it.
I mean, their names are credited in the credits, so I mean, I can see as to why some people would say that.
Run better on PS5, which, in a way, I kind of think that is sort of what they do, simply because we have seen this a lot. PlayStation has been doing a thing. If you actually read the credits,
imagine PlayStation doing this with something they don't even own. Like, that just shows you that PlayStation has no games. I thought y'all picked up the platform for exclusives. Why would Sony care enough to even do something like this when they know the vast majority of their audience buys those Astro Bot and buy those so-called exclusives that you say you still got? Bro, y'all are, man, I don't know.
For a lot of games now that run extremely good on PlayStation 5, especially big AAA stuff, they straight up say in the credits of the games now, Sony is doing a thing where they send their own developers to work on a project.
So you don't think their own developers that they're sending to help get these games made, and they're not saying, hey, can you put it on our platform as a timed exclusivity deal, like what they did Final Fantasy, just like what they did all these other games, right? That end up always popping up on Xbox, huh? Bro, come on, man.
To go, we know the magic, we made the tech, we know how to make it good. Every ounce of juice out of it. I'm playing GTA 6 at 30 FPS. Could change, obviously, but
look at that.
If you have a solid TV,
I mean, you're gonna get the Pro, and you're still gonna be locked at 30. You guys are stupid.
Definitely recommend upgrading, especially considering you get trade-in money.
Bro, you guys gotta understand, these people do it for clicks. No different than how you do most of your Xbox is dead and Nintendo's bad videos. Okay? There's no authenticity here, bro. There's nothing being said that's authentic. Okay? The more you guys give this guy engagement, the more he's getting people to view his stuff and, probably gets money from it. It's that simple. People's like, why do people say stupid stuff in the internet all the time? Because look at this. Look at you for saying stupid. For saying, if I said something like this on Twitter, I only get 1 like. But if you say something stupid, you get 20,000, 40, 50,000 likes. Like, bro, we know why these people do it.
So lots and lots of stuff like this. A lot of people, though, saying, is it coming to the Nintendo Switch 2? Good luck. So glad I got a PS5 Pro.
You're so glad you got a PS5 Pro? Well, understand that it's going to be still capped at 30.
This is my thing, is that I bought a PS5 Pro at launch, and I'll be honest, I regretted it for a long time. The PS5 Pro is very expensive. It was $700.
Well, don't worry. I mean, you sold your old one for $500 to your girlfriend. I mean, that should have covered most of the cost.
Launch, I think it's had a price increase. It's probably going to get another price increase because I think the tariffs are coming back soon, so that's going to increase the heck out of prices. But I'm sort of in a spot where I think that Sony is trying to figure out a way to make a bridge. I am thinking more and more that the PlayStation 6 is probably coming out in 2028, right? I have a feeling that right now Sony is sort of trying to PS5 Pro so that whenever the 6 comes out, most people are not buying a PS5 Pro. I think to Sony it's worth investing.
It's a cross-gen.
In that extra performance and stuff, because every person that buys a PlayStation 6 is even by those back catalog games.
I mean, like I said, hopefully you guys enjoy this video, man. PlayStation 5, all they're doing is that Intergalactic will probably be offered on both platforms. They'll sell it to you just like they did Last of Us. They have a track record of doing that. That's what I'm saying. Oh, where you getting your sources from, GameStop? What are you talking about? You got the same sources I got, buddy. Look at the gaming community. Oh, yeah, you're right, GameStop. Yeah, they did it with PS3, they did it with PS4, they even did it with PS5. So what makes you think they ain't going to do it with their future titles? They're going to make the game probably 30 FPS on PS5 and then intergalactic possibly 60 FPS on the new PlayStation. Bro, the proof is right there. You don't need sources for this. You know what I'm saying? You know, I don't know what it is, man. Do y'all want some of the gangster common sense of sorcery? You know, maybe next video I got to come on with a wand and show you guys how I found out all these sources and find out as to what's going on in the gaming community. Because to be honest with you, it's right in front of you. You know, you guys are giving me the credit of saying, Gamester with another W, all because I'm the caveman that created the first fire when the rock and the stone is still there. Did I just say rock? See, that's what I'm saying. That's how I know I'm a caveman. I mean, the wood and the stone.
Going to, by default, have that PlayStation 5 Pro performance.
I don't care. Take care.